everybody. Happy Monday. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the PHNX Coyotes Podcast, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Craig and PD, and today we are very excited to be joined by a special guest, Tucson Roadrunners forward, Michael Carcone. Michael, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Michael, we're going to talk about your record in a minute, but let's just check in on the Roadrunners a little bit. What's the mood of the team down there with 14 games left, and you're in quite a playoff chase with 4 teams vying for 2 spots remaining in the Pacific Division?
We're obviously in a good spot, being in the playoffs here, and it is tight. So everyone's in good spirits. We kind of know what we have to do. There's a lot of positive talks around here. Just to do our job, and good things will happen. So, no, it's been great, and yeah.
Speaking of doing your job, I know it's part of life in the AHL, but how difficult is it as a team to keep any sort of rhythm going when players are going up the I-10, back down the I-10? You just never know what the lineup's going to look like from night to night.
Yeah, I think it's definitely difficult, but the more you play in this league, the more you understand and get used to guys stepping in, and everyone's got a bigger role when that happens. And I think we've done such a great job of that this year. Putting ourselves in good positions. Obviously, the Coyotes are in a spot here where that's going to happen. So I think it's everyone's done a great job, and we got 15 games. We got to keep rolling with it, and next man up.
Well, obviously...
Sorry, math is not my strong suit, so I said 14, my bad.
So obviously the reason obviously the reason we wanted to talk to you today is you officially beat the Tucson Roadrunners franchise record in points in a season, passing Chris Mueller. You scored your 68th point this past week. Just what a crazy record to achieve. You're having a great season in Tucson. And you were teammates with a lot of the guys you passed up at the top: Chris Mueller, Matias Maccelli, Braden Burke, Michael Bunting, Dylan Strome.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have any of those guys reached out to you? Did you talk to any of them since you beat their records?
None of those guys specifically, but it definitely feels good to beat Chris. I got to play with Chris a little bit in Toronto, so but no, it's I've had many people reach out over the last day or two there, so no, it's been great. Kind of glad it's out of the way now, and I could just focus on the playoffs and the Tucson Roadrunners, and getting to where we need to be.
Why specifically Chris?
I don't know if you guys know Chris at all. He might not be too happy about that. So I love it.
But Michael, one of the things that we've talked about this a little bit already is guys getting called up to the big club, and that not only your line mates change, but your teammates change, and the vibe changes, and everything changes all the time. How are you able to stay consistently on the offensive side of the score sheet when everything is constantly in flux?
You know what? I've been fortunate enough to, be put in those situations, where you do have the opportunities to collect points or give yourself a chance to collect points. It's just kind of the next man up, and the guy, honestly, I have to give credit to the guys that have stepped up and done that, because without them, the puck doesn't go in the net. So, honestly, it's just trying to find that chemistry with your teammates, and trying to just focus on the positives and not get down on yourself. And I thought I've done a good job, and the rest of the team's done a great job of doing that.
So you mentioned that you're kind of relieved that this is done, because you were on a really fast pace there. Then it kind of slowed down maybe in the last few weeks. Do you feel like, now that you've kind of made this name for yourself, that you've been marked by other players on other teams? Maybe they're focusing more on defending you, and we saw things get a little bit chippy against Milwaukee. Have you felt that over this past stretch of games, that guys are really gunning for you?
You know what? I wouldn't say they're like gunning for me. I definitely think there's, parts of my game where you kind of know where to sit on, like maybe on the dot. But like other than that, honestly, not much has changed, but the game definitely gets harder during this time of year. Like systematically, there's teams are more structured, which makes it harder to produce. So I would say the only thing that's really changed is maybe the power play and kind of just maybe keeping a guy over there so I can't get shots off. But other than that, no, it's just the way the game goes during the year.
Do you remember the actual play on which you broke the record? I don't know how aware you were of it in the moment.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if I was going to get it because the guy, one of the players on Milwaukee, kind of turned around and swung at it, and I looked after the game and I got the point, so I was like, okay, I guess I got the record.
You wait for the official score sheet to come in to make sure you got the point. Love it.
I'm curious, like you kind of touched on it already, but what does holding this record mean to you personally?
I honestly, to me, when I got myself in the position, I guess halfway through the year, and just seeing the names that were up there and how talented the guys are that, are up there. You got Stromer, who plays in the NHL. Maccelli's up there doing great. Mueller's is good buddy, and that one I really wanted. But I just those guys are as players, and just being in the same category as them was kind of the biggest thing. And it was it's just so nice to get it over with and focus on other things and kind of have your mind in one place other than individual success. So just glad it's over with. So.
You talked about Matias Maccelli, and last year you guys played a lot together. He's been a big part of your point streak. He was in on a lot of those goals. One, do you keep in touch with him? Like, I know you guys were really close as teammates and line mates last year and throughout your time there in Tucson. Do you keep in touch with him now? Do you follow what he's doing there and vice versa? Does he follow you chasing the record down in Tucson?
Yeah, I think earlier on, he was texting me a lot. But I think he might have lost my phone number, so I hope he's seeing this right. I don't know if the NHL got to him or what, but I haven't got a text in a while.
Call it out, Matias.
Yeah.
Get back to him.
Yeah, exactly. He's big time now. McCalder.
Right. Since he's no longer communicating with you, I'll be sure to deliver that message tomorrow when I go to Mullet. So I wanted to talk about the AHL scoring race as well. You're also on top of the AHL in points right now. This has become a really tight race. Does it mean something to be in contention for that? Would you like to win? I think it's called the Sullenberger Trophy or even the Willie Marshall Trophy for goals because you're in the running for that as well.
Yeah, it would obviously be great. There is some tough competition. TJ Tynan, back-to-back MVP of the league. So to be anywhere close to him is definitely special. So obviously it's in the back of my mind, but I think the biggest thing for me was, the team record, I guess, and, trying to pass that and get us to playoffs. Honestly, that's the biggest focus right now. We'd like to have a little bit more of a gap, but, it is what it is. And we got 14, 15 games left. So getting us there, but yeah, definitely the back of my mind.
You were obviously up here earlier this season. We've talked with you at the beginning of the Roadrunner season. How do you feel like your game has evolved this year as you continue to help the Roadrunners in their playoff push, but also on an individual level, help propel yourself to hopefully one day be part of the NHL roster?
You know what? I've had so much support down here from the coaching staff and just kind of working on my game. I got to give a lot of credit to Slains and Potsy for that. And I think Jay Verity also played a huge role in kind of not letting me cheat the game so much and kind of holding me to the same standard as everyone else. And adding that grittiness to my game. So, I got to give credit to those guys, and then the development staff as well, coming down and working with me. And obviously those NHL games help as well too, just giving you the confidence to know you can play there and whatnot. So, I hope I answered your question. I couldn't really hear it there, but
sorry. No, that was perfect.
Yeah. And Michael, one last one from me. You played 9 games with the Coyotes so far this season. We've talked about the AHL record. We've talked about the AHL playoffs. But you've seen the revolving door now between Tucson and Arizona. We talked to Bill Armstrong. He said it's going to be a steady stream of players getting opportunities. Is there a nervous anticipation for you? Like, are you waiting by the phone, or you're going, God, when is it going to be me? And how do you separate that from, gosh, I also want to be part of this playoff run? Like, what is it like, honestly, day to day for you?
You know, it's challenging. I'm going to be, completely honest with you. It's definitely challenging. You do hope that you do get that call, but I think you got to understand that there's other guys that deserve opportunities as well. And all you can do is just play hockey at the end of the day. And if you get the call, you get the call. If not, it's you move forward. Everyone deserves a chance at the end of the day. I hope everyone gets a chance. I still remember my first game last year and how special that was to me, and how much it meant to me. And you work so hard your entire life trying to get there. And it's a special moment. And I honestly hope every guy in that room gets a chance to play in the NHL. And obviously I want it to be me. But I'm okay with other people going up as well.
Yeah. Before we let you go, just to reiterate this, I know you're not probably thinking about it too much now. As you said, you're just relieved to have it over with. But as you continue to rack up points down there, this is going to be a pretty cool thing to carry with you for the rest of your life. It's pretty cool to hold records. So congratulations once again on doing that. And we'll see where the point total ends up when the season wraps for the Roadrunners.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, Michael, thank you so much for taking some time out of your morning. Good luck in the playoff chase here. We'll be following along. And thanks again, Adrian Denny, for getting this all set up. So thanks so much, Michael.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a good day.
Thanks. Bye. Awesome. Great to hear from Michael Carcone.
It is
having a crazy record-setting year. Yeah. He is.
But it's interesting, though. And the emotional high and low that moment means. It means if you're breaking the record, that means you're in the American League.
Yeah.
And you're spending time in the American League. You're not here in the National League, and you watch your line mates, your teammates, guys that you have more points than, guys that you get more ice time than, are getting opportunities to play, and you're not. It really has to be hard, and he handles it with grace and professionally. And I hope he gets another opportunity here in their last stretch of games for the Coyotes, because he is a first-class person, and he's a really good hockey player.
I am always fascinated by that dynamic that you just talked about, and it is such a challenge for the coaches, too, to try to deliver the message that you have to – all you can do, as he said, is you got to keep playing hard, you got to keep evolving, you got to be doing all the things that they're looking for at the next level. And even then – you might not get the chance.
Right.
There might not be a place for you. You might not fit in. It's such a tough dynamic, because you have to keep chasing your dream, but the coaches have to keep you focused. When all other guys go up, like you said, that maybe haven't earned it as much as you have, you still have to maintain your focus. Man, that's an enormous challenge, both for player and coach.
And he says the right things. That's what makes him a leader down there. And selfishly, from the Roadrunner staff, they want Michael Carcone in their lineup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, they're trying to make the playoffs, and they can actually jump up over Bakersfield here if they do well in the next few weeks. It's important that he's part of this lineup. I mean, he's leading the league in scoring. You want him in your lineup. I truly hope for him personally that he gets an opportunity here over the next few weeks before they get into the playoffs, and then give him his cup of coffee here and then send him back down for a good playoff run. He's deserved it. I think he does get an opportunity here again, and I really think GM Bill Armstrong will give him another chance. I'm really happy for him. And it's funny, he was one of our first guests that we've had as a Tucson Roadrunner. And he was fan. He and Matias Maccelli came on live.
Yeah, on our show in Tucson. The stuff about Matias not texting him back is hysterical. We have to bring that to the Coyotes.
You know what's interesting, because in the story that I wrote on Michael when he was up here before, he said Matias was the first one to text him. Like, when Matias got hurt, that's when Carcone got his opportunity to come up here, and Matias texted him right away when he knew he was going to be out and said, I hope you're the guy that gets the call to replace me. So it's kind of funny to hear him chirping his friend.
That's hilarious. Well, we want to talk a little bit more about Tucson's final stretch of games here and their playoff push. And if you want to bet on the Tucson Roadrunners, that's something you can do on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, among many other things. Right now, Sean's been winning money betting Coyotes money line live. We got March Madness kicking off this week. So it's a great time. It's a great time for sports. There's a lot going on, and it's a great time to bet. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use code PHNX, and new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. PD, I saw you at the beer fridge earlier.
I know.
Is that beer in your cup?
No, I went with coffee. I backed out. I know. They were like, and I'll be honest, but I don't know who's in charge. I think it's Max in charge of something. I was looking for my daytime wow.
Yeah.
There was no wow.
And you know why?
Because it's got orange juice in it. Well, not really orange juice, but the citrus flavor.
It's so good that everyone
It's
drinks
gone.
it. Yeah. Craig,
that would have been a perfect daytime
I
beer.
know you're going to have Four Peaks at your St. Patty's Day party this Friday.
St. Patty's Day.
I was just going to say, really? Is there a party this Friday? Didn't know anything about it.
Sean was hosting one. I don't know about know anything about
Well,
it.
I'll be bringing Four Peaks.
There will be Four Peaks at my St. Patrick's Day party. That's at Craig's house.
It's on our calendar.
Great, yeah.
Craig's
Word
Four
is
Peaks party.
There will be, yes, Four Peaks.
This is in lieu of the Four Peaks party.
Most people are coming. Some people have used excuses like their mother's coming in town or things like that, so they can't make it.
But do you know, Craig,
most of the PHNX staff will be there.
There's another party going on St. Patrick's Day besides the Craig Morgan house?
I'm sure people...
It's a close second.
It is a close because
to the Four
Peaks A Street Pub is the other great place to spend St. Patty's Day. So if you didn't get the elusive invite to Craig's party, hang out at the Four Peaks A Street Pub.
It's like the backup
It's going to be a really good time, and all the Four Peaks on tap. So must be 21 or older to drink and enjoy responsibly. But I'm looking forward to.
What are the initials where you're looking for something better, a better opportunity? What is that? I don't know. There's initials. It's not like YOLO or FOMO. It's
thanks, buddy.
Waiting for something better. I don't know.
Look right into the camera because Tara's watching.
No, I had to look up bangers and mash, so I know what the hell I got to eat. I'm already on it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
can't wait for a whole bunch of food with cabbage.
At Four Peaks, I've got a camera installed to see if any PHNXers show up there instead of my party.
What if I'm showing up there to pick up beer to bring?
Oh, well, that would be fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
I might do that.
I'm all for that.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about the Tucson Roadrunners. We've been checking in on them throughout the season, but they're in a tight playoff race in the Pacific. In the Pacific Division, 7 teams get in, and right now Tucson is sitting in that 7 spot with 56 points. They trail Bakersfield by 2. Calgary already clinched the playoffs. They're way at the top of the division, but it's a tough week ahead because the Tucson Roadrunners play Calgary this weekend, so their road ahead isn't really easy. It's not an easy path, but given all of the call-ups to the Coyotes and kind of the flux, I feel like they've done a pretty good job managing
it's
their
tough
schedule.
Because the teams around them, the 4 teams that are in competition, you look at what Henderson, San Jose, and Bakersfield have all done recently. They're all playing well. So this is going to be a battle down to the wire, whether it's 14 or 15 games. I'm not sure. I thought it was 14.
I don't know. Don't ask me.
They play 72 games, so I think I might be right. So I'm hoping for a change that I'm right in my math.
And you've got San Jose chasing them, but down by 3. They're 2 back of Bakersfield. They got 2 with Bakersfield at the end of the month, and they've got a huge series with Ontario. They're not going to Orlando. Ontario. A midweek clash. So the next 4 games are at home. 2 against top Calgary, and then they play Ontario Reign middle of next week. Those are huge games head to head.
Gotta win
they
home
can
games.
close some of those gaps. They need to win those games.
Yeah.
And we'll be following their playoff run all the way. But believe me, let's hope they're playing hockey for a long time.
We need to get down there.
I'd love to go out there in the playoffs. I'm in.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yep.
I'm not riding with you though. Just saying.
What, you think something's going to happen?
I don't know.
Traffic jam or
We'll have
something?
to stop at some foofy food place.
Come on.
Like, let's drive there, go to the game, and drive home.
I'm driving with Craig.
It's an event.
I want to go get food.
When you go with Craig, it's an event.
Yeah, why not?
Like El Charro?
Because it's fun. I don't want to have fun.
You don't want to go to El Charro?
No.
Okay.
Mini donuts.
The 3 of us will drive
DP
together.
are going to go for mini donuts.
Oh, we'll get mini donuts still. That's just part of the
I'm going to
5-course
playoffs.
meal that I eat.
I'm driving by
when I go to Tucson.
myself.
If back to the Roadrunners, if you look at the top scoring list, 2 of them are up with the big club right now, Laurent Dauphin and Kellerman. Deneen obviously traded away, so 3 of their guys in the top 8 of scoring are not with the club right now.
Not to mention Boko.
Yeah, Boko's up, that toughness. So if you look at the scoring race, we talked about the fact that like we've literally weeks ago, Craig said, "Oh, when Michael Carcone breaks the point race, let's get him on our show." And that was like a month ago, and it could have happened at any time. And it does seem like, I don't know what's been going on. If players have now circled him and that they've really defended him well, or what. And also, there's just fluxes in every season.
Sure.
You can't it's hard to sustain that level of production. I mean, he still leads the team in points. He still leads the league in points. So let's not discount what he's accomplished.
Exactly.
But it's a huge gap between him and the next guy on the Roadrunners. Michael Carcone has 68 points. The next guy is JS Day with 43 points.
Yeah, and this underscores what Petey was talking about earlier. When Michael Carcone came up here, when Matias Maccelli was injured, they really struggled to score goals down there. They really missed him in the lineup. And that, again, underscores your point about how badly they need him in the lineup for this playoff stretch. That's probably the biggest reason you haven't seen Michael Carcone up here. They need to have him. They got to have that guy in their lineup. And these games, as I've said a million times, playoff games are meaningful in development. They want to see what guys do under pressure. It helps evaluate and it helps the players develop.
And you're going to have to see what happens to a couple of the Coyotes players that are injured right now day to day. We're looking at Schmaltz and Fisher. When they come back in the lineup, there's two more guys that are going down and help Carcone. And I still believe that he's going to get an opportunity, whether it's just one game to see him play as kind of a, hey, it does, and there are opportunities that he can fit into this lineup without affecting the Roadrunner race. They'll just have to pick the time and
because
the day
of the way the
Yeah.
schedule is structured down there. Yeah,
That's
and
true.
so they can get him up here, play a game, and not affect what happens down there in Tucson. And I really hope that they do that. But he's done everything he's been asked, and he does it the right way. And he's a leader, and I'm happy for him that he set this record. And let's cheer the Roadrunners on.
I want to watch playoff hockey.
Yes.
I really miss playoff hockey.
Yeah. It's so true. But it does bring up the interesting balance of the Coyotes need to fill out a roster, but they're on a playoff race, and we asked Bill Armstrong about that when he was on the show last week, and he said he literally can't sleep at night over it. And another thing we haven't even mentioned is that Ivan Prosvetov is still up here with the big club. So when does he go back?
Yeah.
And that's interesting because Veggie and Ingram, they're fine. So I know that Bill said that they want to evaluate their prospect. How do you time sending him back down? They have a busy, this week they're kind of a little bit more chill in their schedule, but next week they have 4 games. So it's an interesting balance. I don't envy the people who have to make these decisions. Obviously, that's what they get paid to do. But everybody keep an eye on Tucson.
Yeah, I think you get Prosvetov one more start, and then you get him back down to make sure he's there for their playoff push because he's really important. You got to have him in goal.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll keep an eye on the I-10, and hopefully we get to go down there when they're on their playoff push.
Well, Petey won't go with us, but
that's okay.
No, I said I'd go. I just
We'll
I'm
drive
not driving with
separately.
you because I'm not going to listen to your music. I don't even know what it is, but I'm not listening to it.
Okay.
I want to listen to old-timey books on tape.
To,
I know.
Your weird
I'm listening to
things.
weird old-time 30s and 40s radio.
30s and 40s.
I do. Suspense mysteries.
Petey found the Lawrence Welk show on a podcast, so he's
My goodness. All right.
Ed
well,
Sullivan.
No.
For the guys who come up and down, it's a lot of instability,
moving.
but something they can do when they move is get more furniture, and they can do the white glove delivery, so they don't have to worry about it. They don't even have to go pick it up. It will be hand delivered, beautifully assembled for them. Just they take the stress out of everything, and you all know how much they've helped me during my move. So if you want to save big on the best furniture in the Valley, you can head to morefurniture.com. That's MOR furniture.com. I'm in the market for a dining room table right now, so I need to get out to the store. I've been perusing online, but
And white glove setup is much better than like having Craig and I come do it. Can you imagine us trying to carry a sofa through somebody's like door? Like we'd be denting the
no, you
drywall.
like throw out your back.
Oh my God,
That
drywall.
too. Yeah, and then we drop the couch and
Drop
break
the
it.
couch.
It would
Oh
be
my
like
God.
the tool
It'd be
men
just a
yell
mess.
at clouds. Like,
And
that's
we'd
you guys.
leave, and it'd be wedged between their door, and we just leave. Yeah, white glove service sounds better.
Oh man. And after our show ends, I'm really excited because we got a Mountain Mike's pizza delivery, and this is something you don't have to
I didn't have to order.
You don't
I
have to
saw
order.
that this morning.
So, I mean, we know
I
your
know.
love for pizza. So, Mountain Mike's Pizza, I can't wait. It's so good. If you want to get some Mountain Mike's Pizza, head on over to mountainmikespizza.com or go to their Mesa, Chandler, or Tucson locations to place your next order. When Craig and I are going to El Charro,
Yes,
you're going to go to Mountain
Mountain
Mike's
Mike's.
in Tucson.
perfect.
Love it. And as a reminder, new diehards can get a $50 voucher upon signing up. So definitely check out Mountain Mike's.
And that's just free
I
pizza.
cannot wait.
$50 free pizza.
Like, I am craving
Mike's.
Mountain Mike's Pizza, and I can't wait to go have it.
And when they come,
our
they
show
bring a
ends.
mountain of Mountain Mikes. They truly do.
That is
There's
true.
so much pizza
Today,
pie
buddy.
here.
That is true. Before we move off of Tucson, there is a question from Ogie because he said he already played 9 games here. So is that no longer an issue if Carcone were to come back up?
You mean for waivers?
Yeah.
He's not waivers exempt. But usually what will happen is like if you send him back at the end of the season, nobody's going to claim him at that point because you got to put him on your NHL roster. So everybody does it, and you send him back for the playoffs. But it is an issue. He doesn't become
Yeah, and he's leading the
waivers
American
exempt,
League in
so,
scoring too,
yeah.
so that does become an issue. You're
Yep.
right.
Yep.
See, Ogie helps us out,
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it's a very good question.
and maybe that's part of the reason why he's not, because of the fear of losing him.
Yeah. Well, we want to also talk about the ASU season while we're talking about all the hockey in Arizona. But before we do, I do want to give a shout out to Clayton Keller because he was named this week's first star of the week in the NHL. Not the second, not the third, the first.
Did you know they had an NHL team in Arizona? I think a lot of people forget that.
By the way,
yet year they play in a college arena.
I heard that.
The only player with more points since the All-Star break is Connor McDavid. Have you heard of him?
That is insane. Absolutely insane.
That tells you what kind of role he's on right now.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and just watching him every night now. I was saying this to you guys on the show last night, but he's engaged in all zones. He's playing responsibly. He's aggressive. But man, when he has the puck on his stick, he just feels like he can do anything. He can make plays, and he's making so many great plays right now. He is fun to watch.
But let that sink in for a minute. Since the All-Star break, the second most points in the National Hockey, it's not Nathan McKinnon, Pasternak. No, not them. Not Bergeron, not Matthews.
Bums, Petey. They're all bums.
Not
Matthews.
Tage Thompson.
Not Tage against the Machine Thompson. No, none of them. Clayton Keller with the Arizona Coyotes. That is absolutely insane because that's a team that's not supposed to score goals, and yet this player is second in the National Hockey League since the All-Star break.
We talk about guys making guys around them better. Yeah. Now, when you start to look at the examples, clearly he and Nick Schmaltz have chemistry, but he has made Nick Schmaltz a better player. When he played with Travis Boyd, he made Travis Boyd a much better player. Now he's playing with Barrett Hayton, and look who's producing at nearly a point per game clip since the All-Star break. Barrett Hayton.
Who played on his wing last night?
Yeah,
Brett
Ritchie. Brett Ritchie's got 4 points in 3 games.
3 points last night.
That's it.
Clayton Keller is making other players around him better.
And that's a testament to a good player. You can make players around you better.
That's a testament to a great player.
Yeah,
that is the impact that you have.
Yeah, and that's what superstars do. And you look at the other players on this list, Sidney Crosby is the second star behind Keller. Sidney Crosby is also known for making all the players around him better. And Clayton Keller is ahead of him this week on this list. 4 goals, 5 points, or 5 assists for 9 total points in the past week.
That's insane. Good for him.
The Coyotes were 3-0-1 last week, by the way.
Part of this is age. Part of this is maturation and evolution of his game. But we can't ignore that part of this is Andre Tournier. Yes.
It's true.
Yeah.
The legend Andre Tournier. Well, we will be on Clayton Keller 30-goal watch, 70-point watch. Literally, it could happen tomorrow night. So stay locked in. We will be tracking that closely.
80 points. I'm just saying it.
It's doable. 80 points.
That would set the record, right? 76 is current. What's their current record?
86.
86, I mean.
Keith Kachuk, only player to eclipse 80 points in Coyotes
But
history.
nobody's hit 80 since Kachuk. Which was, I think, happened the year I was born.
Wow. First year here.
That's absolutely insane.
Crazy.
On a team that's supposed to be competing for last.
Yep.
Not to mention their home record, which I talked about today.
Yes.
The story.
Great article. Great Die Hard story this morning on the site.
On pace to be
that out.
the best since 2012.
Yeah.
And could surpass that.
They could. They're just need a little tick, and they could be tied for the 3rd best home record in franchise
all time,
history
since being in Arizona.
Yep. In a year where you're trying to tank.
Is that against teams that were actually trying to make the playoffs?
Yes, that's the other thing. They have 17 wins. More than half of them are against playoff teams. They beat the Boston Bruins here. They
They swept the Minnesota Wild. They beat Colorado. They beat Toronto.
The chart you put in your story of all the teams that have fallen victim to mullet and then where they are in the standings now was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So go check that story out. It's for diehards only. Go PHNX.com, but it really summarizes everything nicely. But yeah, the mullet, it's a special place, and it was a special place for ASU hockey this season. Although they didn't have the season, and I think they wanted or expected that we wanted or expected. They wrapped up their season this past weekend. They won, so ending it on a good note. Josh Doan scored the last goal.
He was on a bender too. Wow,
that was perfect bookends to the season. Him scoring the first and last goals at the mullet. So
9-game point streak too, or I think he had 16 points. Is what it was. It was crazy.
Yeah,
15 points.
So ending the season on a high note for ASU, at least going out, on that positive note. But they ended up, I think, 39 in the pairwise ranking. They couldn't get it done. They just lost games that they
18 and 21 overall.
Lost.
There's early in the season, they had so many near misses. I mean, they had marquee wins over teams like North Dakota.
Minnesota.
They beat Minnesota
that was
here
one of
and
the
lost
most
a one-goal
fun
game to the
I've
other.
ever been to.
They were incredibly competitive against really good teams. They had a couple near misses games. Like you think about the horrible call at Denver that never should have been called. They had calls early in the season against Minnesota State, against Bemidji, things that could have gone the other way and might
Duluth,
have turned this
very early.
Yeah, Duluth might have turned this season right early on. They might have been in a great situation had it not been for a lot of bad breaks early on. And then the second half of the season, I mean, they were just decimated by injuries. Greg Powers, the coach, sent me a photo of their lineup board at one point. They're like 9 guys off to the side that can't play because of injuries. You got like walk-ons playing. How do you win like that? It was just a really tough season for ASU. Encouraging on this is that they're going to get a lot of these guys back. We'll see how many. When we're talking about significant losses, Demetrius Kumunsis, Chris Grando, Jack Judson, Jacob Semick, Tanner Hickey, and Ben Cross, their backup goaltender, are the guys that are definitely gone. That's not a lot. What I'm curious to see is what happens with some of these other guys. Robert Mastrosimone has another year of NCAA eligibility, but if he gets an offer from someone, he might be gone. Is Josh Doan going to return? We've always assumed that he's going to return, but he had a hell of an end to this season. Could he decide to join the AHL if the Coyotes want to sign him? There's a lot of moving parts there. I'm curious to see what's going to happen to ASU next season. Obviously, they would love to have both of those players along with what they feel is going to be a strong recruiting class. They need to take a step here soon. We've talked a lot about the impact that COVID had on them. There's no doubt about it because they were about to make their second straight NCAA tournament. COVID hits, cancels the season, cancels the postseason. They have to play that following season on the road entirely, and they just haven't found their legs since. Now, they finally got Mullet built. We're going to start seeing the recruiting effects of that. I don't think next year because most of those top-end kids had already committed, so you can't feel the full effect of it yet. But after this season, when we're looking at recruiting classes in ASU, they need to start landing some of those top kids. You can't compete for NCAA championships, to be blunt, with the roster that ASU has right now. You got to get some of those top-end kids. You need more than Josh Doan. You need other top draft picks from the NHL. Look at Minnesota as the example. Look at that absurd first line. Look at the depth on their blue line. They have a lot of talent on that team. ASU needs to make inroads into that type of talent if they want to take the next step in this program.
Yeah, and I think when you see the Mullet get built and open up, I think everybody goes, okay, well, now they're ready to win. Like, it's just automatic. Keys are here. Open the door. Let's win. And I think now that you've taken a year, taken it all in and go, okay, wait, this might be a little bit of a process. And the great example is you look at the Golden Gophers in Minnesota and you see they don't have one Josh Doan. They have 5, 6 players like that. And I think ASU's not there yet.
No.
And to get those, it is hard to compete against those top programs because here's the reality. Kids are going to college because they want to make it to the NHL. Sorry. They have some want an education. There are kids that are out there trying to get an education, for sure. But they want to see the path. And the path is, the Golden Gophers or North Dakota or Denver, those guys are going from there. And then, well, yeah, maybe I'll go there. ASU is going to have to get a Josh Doan to get through the program. I think that's really going to help them land that. And they got to win. I don't know if this team is going to be a perennial NCAA Final Four team. I think they first need to be a perennial NCAA tournament team.
Yes.
And right now they're on that bubble. And I look at them like I talk about my hometown Bemidji State Beavers. That's a team that I think that's where they're going to be. That they make it into the tournament every other year, and then they'll pull the draft. They'll pull the recruits away from teams like Bemidji State. That are teams that are make it once in a while. They'll start pulling those recruits, and then those recruits will make the program better. And then they'll start pulling guys from schools like Denver and Minnesota. It's just going to take more time. So a little bit of patience.
You need somebody to start the waterfall, right?
Right.
Because you got to get a few of those guys in, and then you start creating a pattern. Guys want to come here and
the
play.
Facilities are top notch.
And aside from that, the
campus.
Yeah, the campus, the climate.
Everything.
They want to come here. Yes. You just got to start getting it rolling.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. And they're so much closer than where they've ever been.
And they need to join a conference.
Yes.
And I know that's a major focus. It won't happen next season, but after that, we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that does help. And that's where you look at some of these conferences where you get in a conference, you win the conference regular season or tournament, you're in. Well, that makes it more likely that you can make this tournament.
It's just a shame that there aren't a couple more teams out west.
It's coming.
Do it.
I don't know.
UNLV, and then you need one more.
Yeah, UCLA,
join
USC.
the 3 Colorado schools, UNLV, ASU, Come on, U of A.
Come on.
U of A. Let's go.
They added a women's club team.
Yep, let's go, U of A. And one of the big California schools. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, like, I think this was kind of an off year. There's still, if all the guys that could return that you listed do return, I mean, Josh Doan, he had an unreal freshman year, kind of had a more of a, I guess, middle of the road year for as far as expectations.
The slow start, I think, because of his role had changed.
Yeah.
He was playing more of a defensive role, and he's also a captain, so he's got to shepherd a team as a sophomore. So a lot of challenges, a lot of things.
He's
on
still
his plate.
1 point
Not
short
to mention
of
playing like insane minutes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he
had a great season all in all.
But just compared to like his crazy freshman year, then you look at someone like Matthew Copperwood, who was also like on a crazy pace last year, a little bit, quieter this year. So the pieces are in place for this team to have success. And hopefully the mullet magic that the Coyotes are experiencing can, trickle down to ASU, because it is a phenomenal building. And if you've never been to a college game there, I highly, highly recommend checking one out, because they are a freaking blast and sometimes a little bit more accessible than Coyotes games as well. So when ASU season comes back around, and it's done for now, but we're just a few months away from it coming back, check out Game Time. We got tickets to Jackson got tickets to ASU Hockey on Game Time this year. So lots of Coyotes home games though coming up. If you haven't had the chance to see Mullet, check out Game Time to get your tickets. Lots of concerts, tours.
World Baseball Classic.
Drake announced his tour today.
Seriously?
Sean and I are going to be right on Game Time.
Skipped over Buffalo.
I know.
But the last spot of his tour, Desert Diamond Arena.
So there you go.
Where's that?
What?
Do they have events there still? Sorry. Too soon.
Well, I'm going to check Game Time for those tickets as well. So you can save up to 60% on tickets when you buy last minute. And the best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in our description. All right. Well, we're about to eat lunch, but after lunch, Circle K snacks, anyone? We were eating the peach rings last night.
I went with chips again last night.
The chips.
They're so good.
So good. Oh, my God. The salt and pepper.
The kettle baked.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
Just
sorry.
Freaking Circle K.
Craig misses the Circle K snack cart.
It just comes through with the snacks.
Not happy about that.
The orange
okay.
slices, the peach rings.
Right now.
There it is. There's the.
Could be worse. You guys could eat in front of me while I'm talking. When I show up for my segment,
that is
you
true.
could be eating.
Like when we were talking about your
the Circle K snacks are ding 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 ding. There's DP.
Okay, I gotta
like
choose.
the ice
DP's
cream
gotta
truck.
bend down.
You should get a little song playing.
Do you look at DP's hair?
Yeah, just do that.
What would you like from the snack cart? This is for after Mountain Mike's.
I want the kettle cooked salt and pepper. Right there. Yes. Oh, that's sea salt vinegar. That works.
So good. Craig, what do you want from the cart?
Sea salt vinegar kettle cooked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's make it free for free. Yeah. The kettle cooked sea salt and vinegar.
Can't go wrong with sea salt and vinegar.
Thank you, Sean, for
Thanks,
the Circle K snack cart. We're so excited.
DP finally got some sleep from the whole basketball thing.
And, hey, listen, on their road trip to and from Vegas, you know where they stopped?
Circle K.
Both ways. Circle K. Like
Where's Circle K?
What's that?
Which Circle K?
On the way, just this one right here on 7th and Roosevelt.
Okay.
I was educated. I didn't realize that they were all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because they are not. There's none in Western New York where I'm from, so I had never seen any until I got
Not
here.
sure there's one in Wiki up. But
they're awesome. I gotta talk to Max. I need some. I'm a big almonds guy, and they're like the Circle K brand almonds are fire. I had.
So
them
we need
on
them on
the
the snack cart.
Yeah, I might.
Right.
I got it. We need some of the almonds on the cart.
But yeah, that road trip was fueled by Circle K for sure. And we're so excited to partner with them. To kick things off, we've teamed up for an amazing giveaway opportunity. Text PHNX to 31310 for an opportunity to win a $500 gas card.
What's the number?
31310. Get out your phones right now. Text PHNX to 31310 to win a $500 gas gift card.
That'll almost get me all the way to Craig's house on Friday. Almost.
See, show notes
I have to get my
for
tires
details.
rotated to get to Craig's.
All right. Before we wrap up, We're going to do a Monday edition of Weekend Binge, kind of Weekend Binge in review, if you will. Week Binge.
Pretty much
if
in
you
review.
will.
That is correct.
Because the three of us all have some unreal shows to talk about quickly. So I'm going to give it to Craig first because I know you've been.
I know you
watched
watched what I watched last night.
Yes.
The Last of Us, which is the best show on television.
G-rated episode coming soon. Craig, Gerald.
Coming today, right?
Yeah, maybe today or tomorrow.
Okay.
Craig, Gerald, and Derek and I will be talking about the season finale of The Last of Us, the entire season.
We won't do any spoilers here. We will on the show. So if you
Yes.
don't want any spoilers, don't watch that show.
Yeah.
But wow, what a season that was. Too short. We'll talk about that as well. 2 other wrecks. And I think I've said this to you guys before, but nobody's taken me up on it, so I'm going to keep banging the drum on this one. Extraordinary Attorney Woo is tremendous. It's a great show. It's my kids love it too. We're watching it as a family. It's
Where do I find that show?
Here. Heartwarming. It's on Netflix.
And one more time, the name?
Extraordinary Attorney Woo. I'm 10 episodes in. It's fantastic.
You have to watch with
It's
subtitles.
fantastic. It's
so
Korean.
You need to.
Yeah, it's
you
fine,
need to.
though.
You
Yeah,
can't,
I can
it can't
do
be a
that.
background
I should go to
show.
the theater and watch. I've done French movies at
But
times.
sometimes
I do
shows in the background, so like that has to be a show that I actually sit and watch.
So the other one,
I don't know. Korean.
comedy, British comedy, Kunk on Earth. It's hilarious. It's just satire on everything. And she has a dry but incredible delivery. And my family's watching that one as well because it's hilarious.
Love
Those
it.
are my recs.
And where is that one available?
You know,
I don't know
I'm
why-
going to let
I-
you search it.
if I gotta
buddy.
find
Have you heard
them-
of Google?
Tell me where the hell they're at.
Have you heard of Google?
All right, what are you watching?
And nobody cares what I'm watching.
It's also on Netflix, Petey. It's also on Netflix.
All right, well, we'll skip you then. Screw it. We all know I'm watching Love Island UK. I'm on episode like 32 or something.
Of season 40?
Of season. No, it's the
Okay,
current
sorry.
season. But yeah, duh. Love Island UK. Last of Us. Duh. We'll talk about that on G-rated. Mandalorian's back 2 episodes in. Episode 2 was amazing. Disney Plus.
See? So now I can find it.
The giant gator?
And
Giant gator was pretty bad.
Ted Lasso is back this week.
Ted Lasso is coming
Yes.
back.
Apple
Plus all over Ted Lasso when it comes back. I saw this Academy Award thing last night. Don't know if you know that was on. But I'm going to have to get to. There are a lot of those movies that were up for the Academy Award for the Best Picture are out on a streaming
So
service.
you watch them and then criticize them.
Yes,
like you did
But I'm
with
going to
the
watch as
Oscar
many as I
winner.
can. Like Elvis is on HBO Max. Everything Everywhere is on. Tar is now on.
I want to see Tar, actually.
So that's on. So a lot of those movies are available for streaming right now.
Yep.
A lot of them.
Have you seen Tar?
No, I don't really
Okay.
care to watch it. It
Don't care
doesn't.
to
It
watch
does not interest me at all.
Okay,
And I
well,
guess my streaming pick is Poker Face. I don't know if I talked about Poker Face on Peacock.
Yeah.
If you saw, did you watch Columbo?
No.
Yes, I did.
With Robert Falk.
Ah,
It's an hour long.
let me get this straight.
He was unbelievable. And one more thing. You got a pencil. So they show you the murder the first 5 minutes. You knew who the killer was. You saw it. They showed you the murder. And then Columbo would come in, and now you got 46 minutes to solve what you already knew had happened. That's Poker Face. You see the murder in the beginning, and then Poker Face, which is what's her name?
Lady Gaga.
No, it's not Lady Gaga.
Yeah, it's the Lady Gaga song.
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah.
And so she
I thought we were talking about the song.
solves the murder in the next 45 minutes.
Poker Face.
It's
Sorry.
new cast every week. It's stars every week. It's a different murder every week. So you don't have to go episode to episode. Highly recommend it's something different. It's on Peacock.
Love it. All right. Well, there's our Monday.
There it is.
The week binge, I guess. Sean, do you got anything or nah? You've been busy.
Nah, I don't watch. Yeah,
He doesn't watch
but
TV,
I
but
can't. I'm
sport.
very excited for Ted Lasso, and also Drive to Survive is back.
Oh
so
yeah,
I'll be
Drive to
watching that.
Survive. But forgot to mention that one as well. So there it is. And Dan says we care, PD. So
Thanks, Dan.
even
Appreciate
if it's
ya.
just
Thanks,
for
Dan.
Dan.
That's one.
Scott said side count at least 2.
Yeah, it's been a,
I think it's way
it's
more.
been a sci-fi day.
Stifle. Oh man. Well, thank you again to Michael Carcone and Adrian Denny for setting that up, for joining us this morning. Really excited to keep track on Tucson season, which we will, and keep track of Clayton Keller's record chasing as well. Lots of records going on. Makes it fun. We're, usually at this point of the season, it's like, oh my God, it's exciting. So lots to talk about still, and we'll be back live tomorrow after the Coyotes play Who do they play tomorrow? Why can't I remember?
The Calgary Flames?
Yeah,
Yes.
there it is. Jeez, my God.
It's an interesting week, actually.
Listen, they play a lot of games, okay? So I don't know. But really looking forward to that. So everybody stay locked in. PHNX Sports on YouTube. Subscribe.
Rick
Hit the
Tucker will be here
notification
this week.
bell.
Can we talk about Thursday again?
We'll be doing a watch-along on
Yeah, the
Thursday.
watch along on Thursday seems to be, we just forget about it. It's Thursday. We're going
Are you going to have bench cam? Will Rick Tocchet be a part of it?
Can you
I think
imagine?
he should call in
calls
live.
From the bench.
Call it. He's got nothing else going on. Call him live. He should call in. We should watch his pregame speech live. Like they do cut-ins when they do it at ESPN and TNT. They show the locker room.
During the
And the coach reads the
commercial breaks.
I
lineup
would love
read
that.
and stuff. We should have Rick Tockett's
That's
lineup read.
No, I love that. Make it
Hilarious.
happen, Petey.
All right, we'll try. But yeah, Thursday, PHNX
Watch
Sports
along.
YouTube
Watch
channel.
Leah and I watch a hockey game. Like who wouldn't want to do that?
I'll actually be at the hockey game.
So you can have us up on your laptop.
I
Yes.
could.
Yeah, it's a multiple.
We're going to do all kinds of things.
I might.
Yeah,
we're gonna
you
do
should comment.
I might
Live
join you.
PD puck talks. There's going to be so much
We
going
have
on.
a lot planned. It's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward.
Second
to
screen. Screen? Is that a second screen experience?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it?
it. Exactly. Lots of fun stuff coming up this week. So just stay locked in and follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes because we have all of our show information and watch along information on there and in the Discord as well. So if you're a diehard, be sure you're a member of the Discord because we're always sending the links in there and chatting all day long about hockey. That's it from us today. Anything else?
No, that's it.
I see people with the mountain mic, so I'm ready to go
Yep.
get that.
It smells good
You
in
can
here.
follow all of us on Twitter at SPetersHockey. You can ask him what he's watching if you care. I know Dan does.
Thanks,
you
Dan.
can follow at Craig S. Morgan, at Leah Merrill, at Sean_DePaz, PHNX Sports across all social platforms. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Hit the like button on this video. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody, and we'll see everybody tomorrow.